and welcome to the Staying Driven podcast, a podcast with you in mind. Today, I have another special guest here with me. I'm super excited about this one because not only does Mark Fuglevand bring some amazing things to the adaptive community, but he's also part of Staying Driven. So I wanted to be able to bring him on today and talk about his new product line. He has an adaptive product line called Abilitease, and I'm really excited for him to talk about it. So welcome to the show, Mark. It's nice to have you.
Thank you, Steph. I'm really happy to be here.
Where are you coming from?
So I'm based in Southern California. I'm in around the Long Beach area, Los Angeles. So I've pretty much lived here my whole life. But yeah, I'm a SoCal kid. So
We met, what is it, almost 2 years ago?
yeah, it's been
Uh,
oh wow.
yeah, we started doing these Staying Driven classes together. You started coming into Staying Driven, and I loved seeing you. I know that life is busy. You've got a wife, you've got a couple kids. So let's chat a little bit about your life and how the evolution has been in the last 2 years. Can you tell us a little bit about your current situation and kind of go from there?
Okay. Yeah, so last few years were weird with COVID. Quarantine kind of helped me really redefine myself and my company abilities. So when COVID started, I pretty much was a full-time CPA with my wife. We have our own accounting practice locally here in Lakewood. And I was going into the office pretty much every day and taking the kids to school and whatnot. And then when COVID hit, it's almost like we were home and the kids were here and we were doing homeschooling with the virtual school with them. And it was scary because, I'm with my spinal cord injury, I'm high risk, and with everything going on, people hoarding toilet paper and all of the
You
hand
remember that?
sanitizer. Yeah, and like you couldn't get food. I mean, you couldn't go on Amazon and buy even top ramen. I mean, it was a weird time. So we kind of like hunkered down here as a family and just kind of I mean, it was a nice time. It was a time for me to be with my kids. We barbecued a lot and we just talked about life and had good times, and it was great, but it was also a little bit strange to be here and kind of figure out like what am I doing with my life? I as an accountant, it was great, but I chose that career when I got injured because it was safe. It was a way for me for my disability not get in the way. I wanted to be successful financially, but also I wanted to be able to, not have my lack of physical, my physical limitations get in the way of me being successful. So it being home, it was this way of me to kind of say, like, what am I really doing? And I got an opportunity to get a 3D printer, and there was this whole movement where people were making face shields for frontline workers.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to get a 3D printer, and I thought this would be a great way to really introduce my boys to this technology, because they're very creative minded and they like to build. And so I got one of these printers during Black Friday before COVID, so like 2019, November 2019. And so we got this printer, and then when this whole movement happened here in Long Beach, we joined and we made like 500 face shields. I got to see people wearing them in the field, like they sent pictures.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was this really cool movement, and that was kind of what sparked my whole thought about wanting to design for people, because I'd always had these ideas of how I could make my life easier as someone with a spinal cord injury. But seeing how I could help people with COVID, like nurses, and make them feel safe, and I thought, why don't I do this for people with disabilities? Like, why am I not looking within my own community?
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, being someone with a disability, I was so like detached from that. Like I didn't want to be around people with wheelchairs and disabilities.
We're so similar.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to. I don't know. Like I just wanted to live and be me. And I don't know. Maybe I just didn't look in the mirror enough, but I just didn't feel like I had to be part of that whole community. But now I'm like drawn back to it.
Yeah, like,
Or
man,
like,
that was such a silly thought, and I know how you feel because I spent so much of my life fighting it.
yeah,
And, I think it's an important kind of full circle moment and being like, man, that's real growth,
yeah.
right? And the fact that you can make such an impact. Let's take a little step back. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the nature of your injury. I know
sure.
you're very open about talking about it. You're a mentor to a lot of people. So for those that don't know, there are many different types of spinal cord injuries.
Yeah.
So let's take us back to the beginning of that journey for you and what life was like maybe before your accident and then what it was like the day after your accident.
Okay. Yeah, so I was big into sports. I played ice hockey, kind of like your husband. And that was my thing. Like I really wanted to play. I wanted to go to college back east, and I had a couple opportunities to go play for some D2 and D3 schools. So that was kind of my dream. I was 17 years old. I mean, I did fairly well in school. I went to an all boys Catholic school, and I had pretty good grades. And again, very sports minded. Played numerous sports, but hockey was the one that I loved the best. And so going into being graduating high school, I had a girlfriend and I was living in Culver City, which is near Venice Beach. And I had gotten a summer job working as a cashier at a deli. And it was, I think, yeah, in August, it was a summer afternoon. And one of the servers wanted to go to the beach and asked me if I wanted to go. And so I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to go because living in Culver City and having access to the beach in Southern California, it's just beautiful, right? So I wanted to go as much as I could. Because I enrolled at CSUN, which is Cal State Northridge University, to go to school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like college wasn't something that I really thought. Oh, I know this, and I think a lot of 18-year-olds are like that. I think they design it that way, so you're just doing all those general courses. So you kind of
Yeah.
hopefully have this epiphany, like, oh, I want to be an engineer or a scientist or whatever. Go
I
and
think I changed my major like 5 times before.
yeah, right, exactly. So we went to the beach, and this particular beach was down the hill from the Pacific Palisades. So Sunset and PCH. If you're familiar with that area here, there's a very popular restaurant called Gladstone's. It's been here forever. And I wasn't super familiar with the beach break there, but I bodyboarded a lot. I had gone out the night before to County Line in the dark and was basically getting dumped on my head a bunch of times. So I was used to being out in the water, but this particular day, we were at the beach and I went to go into the water when this individual went out, and there was this wave that was forming really close to right there on the beach on the sand. And I foolishly, I should have gone out and kind of felt where the ocean floor was, but I didn't. So I just saw this really big wave, and I ran out and I did my best Baywatch impression. I dove my hands forward, and I was going to duck dive under the lip and just come out the back.
Oh.
And when I did that, it was just all sand. It was a sandbar. And so I just smacked my head. You can see this scar. I just smacked my head like right into it and instantly just went numb and I couldn't move anything below my neck. So kind of like to fast forward this whole process, but I luckily there were people there to kind of pull me out because my friend realized that I wasn't joking and I would just look like I was sitting underwater. They pulled me out, and then lifeguard helicopter landing on PCH, asking me a bunch of questions, and then they flew me to UCLA. And at that point, the journey kind of started where I was told that I had broken my C5 vertebrae in my neck, but that I had pinched my cord. So that's actually a good thing with a spinal cord injury.
Mhm,
If you don't sever your cord, then there's still a connection. So they would consider that like an incomplete injury, which
mhm.
meant that I could get some function back. The paralysis is actually caused from the swelling around the cord. So the nice thing is that when they found out what had happened, they gave me this steroid right away to reduce the inflammation. So it could have been worse. I mean, my injury level could have been higher. My function level, which is a C6, could have been less. So I'm very grateful for what I have. But yeah, it was wild. Like in an instant, here I am. I can't really move anything, and then that's how the journey began, was just to kind of figure out, okay, what do we do next? How do we move forward? Um, so
That's I love hearing everybody's stories because everybody has a different start to I guess a life full of adversity and different ways to be able to navigate it. I love that you found your beautiful wife and you guys
yeah,
have created, such a wonderful family. Talk a little bit about what that beginning of that relationship was like. Was she, down for anything? Did it take a while to kind of adjust to this kind of lifestyle? What was that like?
It definitely took a little while. When I met Patricia, it was at USC, so University of Southern California. We were in the accounting program together, so I knew her in undergrad, but we were just kind of friends. With accounting, accountants party a lot, so we would work really hard, and then we would go out, and so I knew her from those kind of social settings where we got to know each other, and we were just friends. And I think people with anyone with a physical visible disability, like they're always a little bit cautious as to what to ask. And so
Yeah.
I pretty much, as you said, I was very open about it. And so I wanted people to know, like, these are things I struggle with. If I feel comfortable asking for help, this is what I would ask for help with. And I think people just got to know me in that light. And so Patricia and I, we got to know each other. And then it wasn't until we went to the master's program at USC that we started dating. And people probably would say that it was the most unlikely match at first because she was very quiet and kind of closed off, and I wasn't as much. But
Yeah.
once we started hanging out, we realized we had a lot in common. And I think that's so important in a relationship. I mean, to me, she's like my best friend. And I know that she always had my back and vice versa. And that was a very kind of important part of the foundation of what we were trying to, that it just felt right. I can't really,
Yeah.
it's hard to explain. It just felt right. And, she got to know me and the things that I struggled with, and she was fine with it because she knew that I wasn't gonna like give up,
Right.
just gonna find a way to do it. And if I needed help, I'd ask. But it just worked. And then, over time we just got a little bit more serious and realized that, wow, this is something that, we like being together and wanted to get married and have.
Yeah, you guys just celebrated an 11-year anniversary, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
I can't even tell you how fast that went.
That's
It's
that's
it's
awesome.
unbelievable. Yeah, we were at this restaurant and we were looking across at where we had our reception, and we both were like, I can't believe it's been 11 years. That was fast.
So do you think, and now you guys have children, do you think that your children were the catalyst to your wanting to create different adaptations so that you could, be the most hands-on dad possible? Because I know, like, you're their soccer coach, you're their you're
Yeah.
all hands on deck all the time. So um let's talk a little bit about that journey and what being a parent is like as a quad.
Yeah, no, it definitely, I don't know if it was directly related, but I can honestly say that just from, and I'm trying to articulate this the best way, but when you have an acquired disability, or even, if you're born with one, I think there's a period of time where I hate to use the word acceptance, but it's like you try to figure out, okay, this is my reality. How am I going to move forward? And you make that choice, right? So you get comfortable with that, or as comfortable as you can be, but you accept it with yourself. Now, when I had kids, it was like a reset button because now I'm responsible for other people
Yeah.
with a disability. And that was really hard. Like, someone had posted something the other day, and it was a woman that had a husband who's a quad, and it was Father's Day, and she mentioned, I'm, proud of all the dads out there that are willing to let others help raise their kids. And that meant a lot to me because that's something I struggled with. I had a tough time watching other people, help my kids get dressed or help them play sports or feed them. Like that was very frustrating for me. So I definitely think when I had kids, things changed in my mind, how I perceived life, what I wanted to do with my life,
Mhm.
uh, anxiety that I got from it. I mean, definitely some issues with that, that I'm still trying to, process and deal with. But yeah, it definitely made me think about, like, what am I doing with my life and how can I make it better. So that happened kind of naturally, playing with them and doing stuff
Yeah.
and realizing that I need to be in the best possible shape that I can so I can be here a long time, and not only just teach them things, but be around and be present. And that involves some physical components. And so, yeah, being able to do a lot without asking for help or maybe be, taking my wife's time away. Because that's the other thing. My wife is pretty much, when they were younger, their full-time kind of
Caregiver.
caregiver.
Yeah.
So it's like if there was something that I could do to be more independent that she wouldn't have to do for me, that gives her more time to help with them. And those kind of things all really matter. I mean, it's stressful. Marriage is not easy. And then having kids on top of it with someone who has a disability, it's very hard. So I give credit to everyone out there who's doing it. And because I know every day is a struggle, it's hard. You pretty much have to start over every day
Yeah.
and think about, okay, here's my disability. What am I going to do? How am I going to deal with it? And then also, how am I going to support my wife? How am I going to support my family? How am I going to go do my job and be successful? And these are all things that are very hard, and you have to take it one step at a time. But yeah, to answer your question, they definitely helped with this whole road to being trying to be more creative and adaptive. But you combine that with being home and really just sitting here during COVID and going, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
How can I make it better? And I feel like I'm not alone. There's a lot of people that have done this, and you can just go online and look. Like somewhere in your 40s, it's like this whole reinventing yourself. And there's a lot of people historically that have done that. Henry Ford. I'm trying to think of a couple of the people that inspired me, but like it just felt right to do this, and so that's kind of, yeah. My kids definitely contributed to that.
I feel like you'd be one that either has read this book or would like to read it. But Ty and I read Think and Grow Rich, and
Oh,
it was one of the books by Napoleon Hill that it really talks about how, reinventing yourself and really working toward what you want, but also putting things out in the universe and
yes.
saying like, this is what I'm going to be doing. And it's one of Ty's favorite books, and I've read it a time and a half now. So I almost read it twice, but didn't get all the way through. And I think it's one that if you haven't already read it, I think you'd really like to.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to, because that's kind of in line with my thinking and how I've been trying to think, is just put it out there.
Yeah, and I think too, this whole abilities idea of making things easier. And it shouldn't be shameful. I was just talking to another friend of mine on the podcast, and we were talking about like accessibility device shaming, right?
Yeah,
And for some reason, there's so much like shame around, oh, you have to use a power chair, you
yeah,
must be lazy, you have to use a grab stick, you must be lazy. But
yeah,
like, I think you're kind of flipping the script on that, because not only are you making these really cool products, but you're making them desirable. And
yes.
I think you're using not only are you using your real life experience, but you're also using social media to your benefit. Um, so let's talk a little bit about that and what abilities is starting to look like as you're using these tools to help you.
Sure. Yeah, social media, again, like you were talking about being hesitant. That was something that I struggled with, because I didn't really want to put myself out there, and I had all of these ideas, and I thought, why not just try it and see, like, if it sticks. And what I found with social media is that there's a whole world community of people out there that need products.
Yeah.
There's an underserved community that, just got left out, because from a business standpoint, and I completely get this, people with disabilities, at least the ones that people know about, are very niche. It's a small group of people.
Yeah.
But that's not true. I mean, at some point, everyone will experience some type of disability. And I use my mom as an example, because as my mom has been aging and I see her kind of, slowing down and whatnot, I realized that she had trouble lifting things and holding cups. And I know that she's not the only one, but I also know that my mom likes to go out and eat. And she doesn't like to feel that she's disabled. She doesn't want to feel ashamed
Yeah.
of her body and being able to enjoy the things that she used to enjoy. So to me, that was like a light bulb went off. And I thought, okay, aside from myself who struggles with things, there's a whole group of people in this baby boomer generation that is like a tidal wave of, hey, this is my new reality. I struggle. I need to have a product that makes me feel good because I
Yeah.
still want to go out and I still want to like enjoy life in the public eye. And that's the whole thing that I think people need to understand is a good example would be, if you're a grumpy person and you always look pissed off, people are not going to want to approach you
Yeah.
regardless of the way you look. I mean, I know looking good helps, but I'm just saying, if you go out there and smile and look like you're having the time of your life,
Right.
people will be drawn to you.
Right.
Add to the fact that you might be in a power chair and you look like you're having the greatest time of your life, and this
Right.
person who's completely able-bodied and has everything going for them and they have all these nice clothes, they're gonna be like, "What the hell? What drug do they have?"
Yeah, because I want it.
Right. So, I mean,
Right.
it's all really perception. So to me, like, if you can create an affordable product that's functional and does not look institutional and people will go out and use it and feel good about themselves, it's gonna improve their mental quality of life as well as their physical independence. And that's always been what's driven me is that I see these walkers that are in the corner of someone's room with the tennis balls on them.
Yeah.
Wonder why people don't use them. And that's because that makes them feel disabled.
Yeah.
And that's the same way I felt for many years. I didn't look at myself as being disabled. But if I had to use something like that, I would. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like the products have to be like that. And that's kind of what got me on this whole thing. But going back to social media, when I put out my first product, which was this Dyson adapter for a vacuum, a lot of people reached out and they were like, "Oh my God, I need something like that," or "How did you make that? That's so great." And so I knew that there was a people out there that really wanted to see this stuff. And then
Mhm.
not only that, but just kind of opening eyes to it's okay to be disabled. It's okay to not look your best. Like some of your posts where you talk about your struggle, that's real and it's transparent. And I think people appreciate that because there's people in the middle of nowhere that don't have access to all the resources we have. They're laying in a bed and they're seeing this and it's making them feel good because they
Yeah.
can associate with that. And that's really important. I think that that's an important movement. Social media is a double-edged sword, but there's a lot of good that can come from social media.
Oh, yeah, and I think too, I wanna take a little step back. You talked about, like, products looking, like, antiquated or just, like, not even, like, trying to be on trend.
Right.
Pottery Barn just came out with an announcement that they have this whole, like, adaptive line, and it's
I
beautiful.
know. I
And,
know.
like, the
Real
average
change.
the average person, says, "Oh my god, this is so amazing." But you and I are looking at this marketing material going, "Who uses a hospital chair?"
I know.
Right? And,
I
like,
know.
why
It's
are we not using real people doing real things with their life, showing somebody how they use a shower chair,
yeah.
showing somebody how you transfer from a manual chair that's a daily chair,
Yeah.
because nobody that I know uses a hospital chair to get around. No,
No.
nobody that I know.
No.
And I think that that's something that I'm really excited about your product because it's real and it's everyday life usable. It's for what I call like the all-inclusive universal design. The reality is everyone's going to get old. Everyone is going to get to, a point where they're going to need to ask for help. They're
Yeah.
going to have a change in their life. And yeah, we might have gotten there sooner than most people, but
Right.
at the end of the day, like that's why I think perceptions are so dumb,
Yeah.
right? Because the moment somebody, like if your wife were to just be scurrying around and sit in your chair and you guys go out to a restaurant together, but you're both in chairs, just physically in the chair, people have their perceptions.
Oh
But
yeah.
then if she stands up next to you, she looks like a hero, right?
Yeah.
And
Right. Right. Right.
and,
Right.
and so it's very interesting to me that this idea of design is, oh, look how good we're doing because we are including people
No.
with different abilities. But at the end of the day, you're not asking any of us how to help you market, right?
Right. Right. No, and that's been my gripe all along is that, this is a great opportunity for a big company, right? Because it's a feel good story. right? It's great for PR to be like, oh, we've got these basic things like zippers and magnets and Velcro, and we're including it in our clothing or our products. And, it's really great and I love it. And maybe with their resources, they can get stuff out to market quicker. But no, when I saw those wheelchairs, and not to say anything, I mean, there are people that can't afford or don't have good insurance and have chairs like that aren't that great. But I used to look for stock photos for a company with people with disabilities, and it was ridiculous. You'd see someone that looks like he's going out to a club with his iPhone, and he's sitting in there with these armrests that are so high, and he's got the flip over, put like
Right.
literally looks like his wife gave birth,
Yeah.
pulled her out, and then he decided to sit in the chair for a minute, and they took a picture of it. And that just has no, it's just not real. And
Yeah.
that's frustrating. It's almost like you said, a slap in the face to those of us in the community. Um, but no, I definitely try to be as real and true and transparent as possible about the good, the bad, the ugly, and try to provide products that maybe people would use. It might not be perfect for everyone, but I'm using my experience to say this is something that would help me. What do you think? Like, could this possibly help you? And also to just give people an idea, right? There might be another maker out there, a young kid that's like, wow, that's great. I'm going to design something similar or different that might help someone in my community that has a different disability or a family member. So I'm just trying to like open people's eyes because
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of people that are just very timid and feel like they'll accept the fact that we were left out of the conversation. In the last 2 years, we didn't improve this at all. We made convenience the frontline technology made it even easier for people that were ready to go out into the world
Yeah.
to just stay home. Now you can get food, anything you want delivered to you. You can watch as much TV as you want. You can feel crappy, if not worse, with your mental health and just stay home. And we don't need to see you. And
Mhm.
and that kills me because I go out and I don't see a whole lot of people with physical disabilities. I know that the invisible disabilities are out there, but they're probably hiding. And the ones that want to get out there, they're just ashamed. And that
Yeah.
crushes me because this is the time to be visible and make change. Tell people like we want to buy groceries at the same store. We want to go to the same restaurants, same amusement parks, go to the beach and be able to get close to the water. Like we want to live and we
Yeah.
have money. So
Well, and that's the thing. I always used to say, my money is just as green as yours.
yeah.
Right. And I get it that sometimes people are trying to be nice. And,
Mhm.
the amount of stuff that I've gotten for free has been so interesting to me just for no reason.
Yeah.
Like if I'm at a store or somebody sees me and they just want to be nice or they think they're being nice. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like we do have a lot of value and we are able to provide and create. I think that's kind of why you and Ty get along so well too, is because your minds are so similar in creating things that are universally designed. Because why can't we enjoy the nicer things in life?
Yeah.
Why does everything have to look medical? Why, does it have to be less than? Because it doesn't.
Right.
So what's one of the products that you think you are most excited about? If you feel comfortable talking about it, if you have something coming up
Um,
down the
yeah.
pipeline.
I mean, I like a lot of them, but like for me, I really like this product, which I created, which is called a Tug a Mug. And what this does is, and I don't have a mug with me, unfortunately, but this attaches to a mug and it allows you to transport it with just your finger. Now, there's a similar product that came out that's called the Spill Knot. And this is something where you lay your drink on it and it has this scientific, you know, kind of fulcrum where you can swing it and the cup's not going to spill. And that's great. But like for me, it was more, okay, how do I not touch my cup and
Mhm.
put it into like I heat my water in a microwave. So with this, I can attach it to a cup. I can put this in the microwave, let it go. The microwave could be high, low, whatever. Then I can take this out and roll and detach it and have my hot drink there and then kind of lean over and sip it. I didn't want to touch my mug. I didn't want to burn my hand.
Yeah.
And I thought, what would be a good way to do this? And so I just made this very simple design, but it works really well. And I'm able to bring my tea to my office every day. I'm not worried about spilling or burning my hands. And so with this design, it just and this helped my mom too because when she holds stuff at a certain angle, her wrist will start to shake. And I know that she doesn't have confidence holding things when that happens. And with this, she's able to, not worry about it because this will just swing with her hand and allow her to do it. And so that was something that I thought, wow, this could really be impactful, not just for spinal cord injury, but anyone that has any kind of hand dexterity issues. And so I've been really just passionate about products around the hand dexterity space. I do make products for people with, in wheelchairs, but I'm trying to approach a broader audience because I know that the disability community is large. It's
Yeah.
just not visible, and that's something that we need to do as a community is to like communicate that because it's like you've got people that want to know that are nervous and don't want to ask questions, right? The people trying
Yeah.
to help you, and then there's us where we don't go out and we don't tell people like it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be disabled. And we need to kind of bring that together. But yeah, products like that, like this one that I made, which I really do like this. This is just a little drink holder. I'm a big fan of drinking beer. So for me, like holding a pint glass, I can kind of do it, but it's not comfortable. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to make something that would hold a pint glass, but it also, it so happens that it'll hold, like coffee cups. It'll hold,
Yeah.
anything that's trumpet style. It'll hold a rock glass. So if you like to do like a hard alcohol drink or just water, soft drink, whatever. But this is great because, you can hold it different ways and you don't have to pick up the glass. You can go directly on the table and scoop up onto it. And that's nice because now you're not having to pick it up and move it around. And it makes you feel good. Like you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, my hands don't work. I don't have balance and I have to pick this up.
Yeah.
You can just go ahead and do it while you're talking to somebody, and that's that's what I want. I want to make stuff that people feel proud to use. But at the same token, like I'm just getting started. So yeah, all my stuff right now is 3D printed, but if this starts to take off, I would love to manufacture and use different materials and have better quality things that last longer. And then that way I can bring the price down because I want to serve this community in a way that I'm not trying to gouge them like they're used to. Right?
Hmm.
All of these nice things that are adaptive, but you got to go through insurance and insurance won't cover it because it's recreational.
Oh yeah.
And then if you want to enjoy it, oh, well, guess what? It's going to be 6 to 8 grand on the
Yeah.
to,
I,
that's
I think
insane.
the whole medical system when it comes to accessibility devices is a little crazy to me. But even just pressure sores for anyone really that's a chair user, but especially for spinal cord injury, like
Yeah.
seat cushions are so important. And
Yeah.
the fact that like I remember we were trying to get a seat cushion for me and they were telling me it was going to be $600 for a seat cushion. Ty and
Mm,
I go on Amazon, we found the same seat cushion for like $150.
I know. I know.
So, I mean, we could go into a whole another podcast episode
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
But where do you see abilities going in the next year?
So I'm gonna be launching my online store here in a few weeks, and I'm really excited about that. Nervous, but excited. I mean, I'm hoping that what I'm doing behind the scenes is trying to partner with manufacturers and other like-minded companies. And I really want to be able to put out good products. And I'm just going to keep making them. My problem right now is I have plenty of ideas. I just don't have enough time to make them. So I'm more focused on what can I make in a short period of time that I know will help people and just put it out there so they can see it. And I feel like in the next year, my goal is to have, 5 products where, they're on different platforms besides Shopify, maybe in Amazon, maybe in a brick and mortar store. That'd be cool. I hate that it would be in a little corner of a pharmacy, but you know what? We got to start somewhere. Uh,
Yeah.
but I see this as just growing and evolving, and I want to bring in like-minded people. I think for me, one of the biggest benefits that I love, and social media has helped with this, is bringing me closer to just beautiful people that believe in the same mission and just want to do good stuff. Like I never led with I want to make money. It was always I want to help people. And I feel with that kind of mentality, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, it's brought people to me. And I can say in the last couple months, even it's been incredible. And so this journey that I'm starting on, I feel like it's gonna just blow up if I continue to believe in this mission. If I continue to put out good stuff and talk to people and try to help, I'm going to get more people involved in this movement. And I would say my goal is to grow this company, hire more people, collaborate with more companies. And I would love to do it organically where I don't have to go to a big company because they don't get it. They
Yeah.
want they want a piece of this pie because they understand that there's value.
Good people find good people, right? And at the end of the day, I think that's really where you're trying to hone in on and make sure that you're finding the people that need your product and will also share it with the next person,
Right.
and that's what I think is so powerful about the community. I think the more people talk and the more people actually use a
Yeah.
physical product and they see that it's making a difference for them, it changes the way that the community as a whole functions.
Yes.
Um, if people are wanting to look for you and or wanting to look for your product, where can they find you?
Well, for right now, the best way is to just go through Instagram. So the at abilities, so Abilitease. That's where you'll find me. I have a link tree on there, so it'll go to my regular website, the Abilities Clothing. Like I said, I'm going to be launching my store here on August 21st, which is my injury anniversary date. 27 years now, and that's going to be the Abilities Adaptive line. So I'm launching the store where I'm going to have at first 6 products, and then we're going to expand. I'm dropping 2 new products before I go to Phoenix, which is to do the Abilities Expo. My wife and I are going to
Yes.
do it. Yeah, so we're really excited about that. I'm going to drop 2 new products before, and we'll have those at the show. So we're really excited about that. That's probably the best way to find me. And then I'm just going to be improving my, I got to improve all of my social media sites and try to update that. And I'm hoping I can get that done soon. But there's ways to get me, but we're in that process of getting that all up to snuff, so to speak. But yeah, it's just been a lot of work, and I'm a little nervous, but it's going to come together. And it's going to be beautiful, and I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm so excited to know that I'm gonna see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, coming
I'm gonna
up.
I'm gonna be at the Abilities Expo as well. I'm going to be doing 2 staying driven classes, so you're more than
Nice.
welcome
I'll be there.
to come on in with me and have a good time.
Yeah.
And you'll also have Paul there, which will be cool because
Oh, great. He's gonna be okay.
yeah, and so we'll be able to
Awesome.
kind of hang out together.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited that I'll be able to see you. I'm excited that more people are going to be able to see your product. And I'm just super proud of you, man. It's been
Oh, thank you.
so cool to watch you evolve over the last couple of years. And I am just truly grateful that you believed in what I was doing and vice versa. And we've created such a wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm always rooting for you, dude. So thank
No,
you
thank you.
so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, no, thank you, Steph. It's been a pleasure. I'm really excited that you invited me. This is cool.
All right, guys. Well, that's all I got you for this episode, but I will see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.